Leaving the host. Escape. Task. Space. Now. Set. 7. Move. Pop.
The Indiana Pacers seem to have Deandre Ayton signed, sealed, delivered. But Phoenix matched the 4-year offer sheet by Indiana as Ayton has signed a 5-year contract worth $132.9 million for Phoenix and their fans. The drama is over for now. However, the drama in Los Angeles still remains intact. Is Russle Westbrook's days in LA numbered? Will he be traded away? Star point guard of the Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, is still on the trading block. Will he be dealt away? It's showtime. From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sport. Representing Busted Up a Nation brings to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vickery, Joey Thornton, Kevin Rory, Randy Giron, and Stephen Wyand.
Oh, yeah, I can feel another good one coming on, everybody, because we are live for another edition of our Nation Sports Show live on YouTube. I am your host for this evening, Stephen Wyand, joined by my fantastic crew. Look at this bunch of motley crew we got right here for you, everybody. It's the usual crew, rocking and rolling, ready to talk about the world of sports. And before we get to these fine folks on screen with me tonight, we gotta pay the bills, which is a bunch of crap because we don't get paid for this. We're having fun doing this, and that's all that matters. But unlike LeBron, we're not going to leave this show 6 minutes before it goes off the air, but I digress. So anyways, you can follow us on Twitter at @ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and on YouTube, on YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. That's right. Because 2 weeks ago, everybody, we got that custom URL, and we have it so you can follow us and you can like and share and subscribe and follow us on our social media platforms to interact with us and to keep up with us, because we have got a crazy week coming up in the world of sports. And there's a lot of good stuff going on. You know, the crazy NBA offseason is going on, you know, and the home run derby happened last night. NFL's getting ready to start here in preseason in a couple of weeks. But before we get to that, we got to introduce to everybody here on the show. And up first, he is our Las Vegas Raiders diehard fan. He's a motor brother from me that I've known for 7-8 years. He's a good friend of mine, maybe. Anyways, his name is Randy Giron. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on? Hope everyone's doing good tonight. Miss Ezra tonight, but it's all good. Ezra, have fun doing what you're doing. And say what's up to Big T in the chat. And if anybody else joins in, that's awesome too. But it's going to be a great show tonight. Good to have everybody here. And as always, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And up next, no, ladies, it's not Justin Timberlake. He is JT, Joey Thornton. Joe, what's going on, pal?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It feels awesome to be back. Hate that I missed the show last week. And let me tell you, with my birthday coming up, beach trip coming up, football right around the corner, I feel like I'm on cloud nine right now.
Yeah.
It's awesome sports. Let's go.
Oh, yeah. And last but certainly not least, Panther fans, I feel bad for you. Actually, no, I don't feel bad for you. Neither do the rest of these guys on here. He is a San Francisco 49ers diehard fan. repping that Golden State Warriors down there in San Francisco in the Bay Area. He's been a friend of mine for 18 glorious years. We've watched wrestling together, sports together, all that fun jazz. With enough of that, my good buddy, Kevin Roy. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's finally good to be back on the show, and it's finally good after the last couple weeks I've had. I've been taking more L's than the Los Angeles Lakers here lately, but other than that, everybody can see. Done changed the background. You know what time it is. Here in about 2 weeks, training camp is going to start back up for the NFL, and we'll be ready to rock and roll.
That's right. And speaking of rocking and rolling, fellas, we are about to rock and roll right now. Put the pedal to the metal, full on the floor. Let's go. So let's go ahead and get the show on the road. And man, so talking about last week when the show went live, Ezra, through to you, Kevin. We're not going to waste nobody's time right now because I know you got something you want to get off of your chest, and that is referring to the Baker Mayfield trade from the Cleveland Browns to the Carolina Panthers. And yeah, you were fixing to give your take last week, and then your power went out, and you got the power back. You're live on the show with us this week. So, Kevin, the floor is yours, my friend. So take it away.
Well, I think what happened was Sir Purr paid me a visit and jumped on my power line. He didn't want me to talk shit about the Panthers.
That's right.
Anyway, what I think about this shit is Panther fans I've noticed all around the world and all around social media, they act like they just got Tom fucking Brady from 2007, for Christ's sake, or Aaron Rodgers. Calm the fuck down. You got Baker Mayfield. Might I add, he has the same amount of interceptions as Sam Darnold. He has the same amount of interceptions as Sam Darnold. Come on now. So here's their quarterback room. You trade away your first round, second round, third round, now fifth round pick to have a room full of Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield and a bunch of peons on your offense, except for DJ Moore, who's pretty damn great, I might add, no disrespect, or Christian McCaffrey when healthy, but everybody else is a bunch of peons. And the crazy thing is Baker was set up to win. Randy, me and you've talked about this plenty of times. Cleveland has a Super Bowl roster minus the fucking quarterback. They got the best running back duo in the NFL. They have a top 3 to 5 receiving core at that time in the NFL, a top 5 offensive line, a top 10 defense, and you still missed the fucking playoffs last year with Baker Mayfield throwing the ball. And here's my thing. Everybody talks about it was injuries. Oh, Baker was hurt. No, he wasn't. His fucking left shoulder was hurt. He throws with his right arm. How is his left shoulder going to prevent his stupid brain? Oh, let me throw it into double coverage. Oh, picked off. Baltimore Ravens, pick six while Lamar was throwing his own pick six. Remember that game on Sunday Night Football? It was a fucking atrocious. It was atrocious. So Carolina, is he better than Sam Darnold? Yes. You know, by under the nail of my skin is how much better he is than Sam Darnold. I'm sorry. He's not a top 10 quarterback. He's not a top 15 quarterback in my eyes. And if he can't do it in Cleveland, what makes you think he can do it with a piss-poor offensive line like he's got in Carolina? I mean, it looks good on paper because they went and drafted some guys. But again, on paper, you got to play on every Sunday. And when you play every Sunday, I mean, it's going to take time for that offensive line to gel. Will they be good next year? Yes, I think they'll have a great offensive line next year. Let me remind you who the Panthers are playing the first 6 weeks of the season with that offensive line and Baker. First off, they got to go against Myles Garrett, who might bash Baker in the head with his helmet like he did Mason Rudolph. Second, he's got to go against the Saints defense, a top 10 defense. Then he has to go against the Bucs defense, a top 10 defense. Then he's got to go against arguably back-to-back the 2 best defenses in football. When you got to go against Nick Bosa, who already hates you from college, and Randy knows about it, that planting the flag shit, Nick Bosa done got his ass 2 years ago, got to go against Nick Bosa and that 49ers front seven. Then the very next week, on a short week, have to travel to Los Angeles and go against Aaron Donald, who we've seen what he did in the Super Bowl single-handedly, ending Joe Burrow on the Bengals season. So all I got to say is, Baker, good luck, buddy. And for the first time, I can honestly say, in week 1 of the NFL, Baker Mayfield will finally be throwing the ball to the fucking Browns. Congratulations.
Well, I think it's safe
First
to
time in
call.
2 years he's thrown the ball to the fucking Browns. Will be week 1 against the
Wow.
Browns.
Wow. Well, I think the state of North Carolina just got roasted by K-Rod himself. Oh my goodness. I mean,
I gotta say though, real quick, in regards to my video I made last week, the only reason I said the Panthers may start 1-5 is because in week 2 the Panthers got to play the Giants, and I'm telling you, if the Giants somehow find a way to beat the Panthers, my God, I'm gonna be rolling on the floor all week.
You never know in the NFL
man.
when the season finally gets underway. I mean, anything can happen.
That's true.
You know,
That's
and
true.
my goodness, I mean, you know, I really don't think this is a good deal for the Panthers. I mean, you know, Mayfield, he had a great season, as you all know, in 2020, and last year in 2021, he just up and down, injured. The offensive line was not great. Interception prone was Baker, and he played at times when he was hurt, when he should have set the games out and all that type of stuff. And you know, I mean, Kevin, like what you said is you had a lot of great points in your rant, you know, and I know you've been fuming about this situation since the news broke last week before we went live, you know, and it's mind boggling that the Carolina Panthers picked this guy when they've already got a goof in Sam Darnold, who is honestly your better option over Mayfield, you know, because he's not, I mean, he's up and down too, but damn, I mean, come on. I mean, Mayfield's just as bad, if not worse, because he hasn't had a consistent career, and really neither is Darnold. But if I'm picking one of the other two bad ones, I'm picking Darnold, because I mean, Baker needs to prove it. He's got a lot to prove it. He's got a lot of pressure on him.
You know what, Steven? And here's my thing about the Panthers. I honestly, they might surprise me and win a couple games, but I honestly see them, the only games they're going to win are within their own prickly dumb division. That division's so horrible outside.
Who, Atlanta?
Oh yeah,
that's
ain't great. Like, you got a chance to beat the Saints because they suck. Jameis Winston might throw 10 picks in a game, break the record. Then you got to play the Falcons, who, good God, I might replace them for a USFL team. Holy crap, let's go to Canada and get a team. But you know what? They got to play the NFC West, and I honestly, even the Sea Chickens, I can see beating the Panthers. I can see the Sea Chickens with Drew Lock beating the Carolina Panthers because Baker don't know how to throw the fucking football.
Nope.
Progressive done ran him out his own commercial. He said, "Get the fuck out. We don't want you." So, Baker had to have a yard sale to get out of Cleveland. And now who moves in? Deshaun Watson, the guy who has to legally now, after this lawsuit, legally has to introduce him and what his charge is and why he has to legally tell him that he's moving. This is such a Cleveland Brown and Carolina Panther thing to do. It's atrocious. This whole situation is.
Well, what do you expect? You got Cleveland, the king of being crap, and then you got Carolina, the new kings of being crap. But, you know, it's very fitting. It's a shitty situation.
Then again, you also got to put Dallas in there because, you know, Dallas hadn't done much over the years. But I will say one thing about Dallas and Carolina, and that's the fact that since 1997, Jennifer Lopez has more rings than the two of them put together.
Hey!
Hey-o.
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 That's right. That's right. Randy, what are your thoughts on this whole Baker thing? I mean, it's mind-boggling.
I've been thinking about it, and I think if there was a way for Carolina to somehow get Cam Newton, Sam Darnold, and Baker Mayfield and put them as one.
That would be a match made in heaven, wouldn't it?
One player. They can make one player. They probably win like one more game. That's probably about it. Sorry, but that's a quarterback room that is, I don't know. You know, it's gonna be rough because I don't think Baker Mayfield's the answer. I don't.
No, I don't think he is either.
He wasn't the answer in Cleveland either. I tried to tell all my all my Browns, my friends that are Browns fans, all the Browns backers, that he wasn't it. They didn't want to hear it. They went out and bought the jerseys and all that good stuff. Now they can use them for to line their dog cages with. That's the only good use for him, I think. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Their defense will keep them. Their defense will keep them in a lot of games, but ultimately, it's gonna be touch and go on offense, and I don't think they got it.
No, I don't think they do it either. I mean, Baker has had promising, good starts at times. A couple of years ago, when even the year before 2020, in his rookie year, he had some decent numbers at times, but he's just not a consistent quarterback. I mean, he's not a Patrick Mahomes. He's not a Josh Allen. Josh Allen in his rookie year was a pretty good, young stud. And then in his sophomore year, he was great, because if you want to be great, you got to go through all the aches and the pains and all that type of stuff, to get to where you want to be, as a player. And Mayfield, honest guys, he hasn't had a full training camp with Carolina. He spent the first half of it with Cleveland, and now he's with Carolina, and he's only got about a month and a half or so to get ready for this season with a brand new team. I mean, I don't recall any success stories with players going to other teams for the most part midway in the offseason. Usually it doesn't happen good. Usually. I mean, that's like, years ago. I mean, Kevin knows this, Joey knows this, and you, Randy, know this, and all of y'all out there know this. The Philadelphia Eagles in 2010 or 2011, 2012, the dream team, as Vince Young called them. That Philadelphia squad was picked up basically in mid-July, something like that, right? And what did they do that season? They didn't do crap. They were terrible. They were up and down, injuries all year long. And fast forward to 2022, Baker Mayfield is on a brand new team. He doesn't know the full playbook right now. He's got to get used to the new playbook, and it's not going to come very easy. And that's one of the toughest things in the National Football League is if you don't know your team's playbook, when you go to a new team right off for the first couple of games, it can spell disaster for Mayfield. And it wouldn't surprise me if they start 1-4, 1-5. I mean, and that's just being generous. How fitting would it be if Mayfield loses to the team that he left? Oh Lord. Anyways, how fitting would it be?
Said, stop talking about his boy like that.
Oh,
my apologies, Randy. I know you don't like him. But Steven, you know what?
Yep.
My thing is this. Like you said, he hasn't had a whole off season. He's had basically just the start of training camp.
Yep.
It's going to fuck him up. Then I don't think he's going to get on track all season because of the reasons I mentioned earlier. You basically got a rookie offensive line against some top tier front sevens in the NFL. Then you got a rookie left tackle blocking your blind side. Good luck. If you think Cleveland's offensive line couldn't block for you, which they could, obviously, but Carolina's not going to block for you. We've seen Sam Darnold take shots. Cam Newton take shots. Their offensive line doesn't block. Then you get used to a player like Christian McCaffrey. I get used to throwing to him, doing this, and guess what? Within 2 games, boom, he's down. Now you got to get used to playing with Chubba Hubbard or somebody. He's not going to get a consistent flow of offensive plays in with this team. McCaffrey's going to be in and out. Hopefully he can learn to use DJ more because let's be honest, we all seen how poor he used Odell Beckham. I didn't like Odell Beckham. I wasn't a fan, but Odell Beckham went out and proved us all wrong last year when he said, "Hey, it's Baker, man. He ain't playing good. He stinks." His dad came out, he stinks. Mid-season gets traded to the Rams and literally instantly makes an impact. He didn't even start. He came off the bench making an impact for the Rams. That goes to show you get him a quarterback. Hey, in the Super Bowl, if he hadn't tore his ACL, he was in for a monster game. And that just goes to show you he left Baker in Cleveland, and he looks good. So I don't know what Carolina's going to do with Baker, but if they don't fix their crap, DJ Moore is going to get the fuck out of Carolina. He's going to go to a team with a quarterback, and that's just that simple. Then you lose your best offensive weapon, essentially.
What's going to happen what's going to happen with Robbie Anderson, like one of their better players, who basically when Baker Mayfield was getting ready to come there, he was like, "No, I'm good." You know what is he going to say? What's he going to do? How is he going to react?
Team chemistry's gonna be fucked.
Exactly, because he hasn't had a full off season to be with his brand new team.
He doesn't even want to play with Baker. He
honestly don't blame him. After
good.
I seen what Odell Beckham did, I tell him to trade me to the Rams for a piece of pie. I don't care. Just give me to the Rams.
Right, exactly.
I gotta say real quick, if there's one thing that the Panthers franchise has done worse than anything, or I would say not really the franchise, the worst part about the Carolina Panther franchise altogether is their freaking fan base. Because let me tell you guys something. These same Carolina Panther fans that are probably singing the God knows what praises for Baker Mayfield, how many of them were singing the praises of Cam Newton whenever he first got drafted 10 years ago? And now look where that freaking is.
Exactly.
Nowhere.
We know how Panther fans are around here because we live in this state, and we know that Panther fans are up and down. They're not very loyal. Now, some Panther fans are loyal to the team, but a lot of Carolina fans are so delusional because they don't fully understand certain things when it comes to their, to football. Some fans understand what's going on, but they got to understand that just because Baker has a name value to him, unlike Sam Darnold, name value doesn't get you very far in sports. It doesn't matter what sport it is. You could be a great athlete, 1 year, and then the next year you can falter, and not have a great year. And that's the problem, that I'm concerned about this Panther team, with their brand new quarterback, because Mayfield, to me, is going to struggle this season. And I will be totally surprised if Baker Mayfield has a pretty good year with Carolina in his first year, because we generally do not see quarterbacks going to brand new teams and, midway through the offseason having a great year. It usually doesn't happen. Sometimes it does. Most of the time, it doesn't happen. And it's going to be a rather interesting scenario when the regular season kicks off in September.
But you know what, Steven, here's the last thing I'm going to say about it. I just think Carolina, they've been on the decline or down the slide, so to speak, since last year trading for Sam Darnold, because let's be honest, they gave up way too much considering Matt Ryan, who's still an elite quarterback. The Colts got him for basically a damn ham sandwich, literally a fourth-round pick. Sam Darnold, you trade your first round, second round, fourth round. Come on, dude.
Exactly.
Like, all that to pay $30 million to a guy who can't throw the ball. Like, I understand if you give up your draft capital, and this is all of sports. We've seen Toronto do it with Kawhi Leonard in the NBA. If you're getting 1 year rentals and you're giving away your draft capital, make sure that the 1 year rental can win you a Super Bowl, or make sure the guy is good. He can win ball games. Because what you're doing is, Sam Darnold's not the answer. We know he's not the answer. But guess what? Now we have no first round, no second round, no fourth round pick. Now we trade for Baker. Now we have no fifth round pick. We got a third round pick. Like, we're going to find a franchise quarterback in that. Like, I don't understand. Like, Carolina's just giving up draft capital. If you're looking for a 1 year rental just to play under center and play at quarterback, fuck it. Go get a free agent. I don't know. Sign him off the street. I mean, hell, sign Bozo the Clown. Probably still be about the same as Baker Mayfield. Shit. I mean, these 1 year rentals, with doing that, you're not going to bring talent to Carolina. I don't want to drop any personal information, but put it like this. The same seats that I bought for the Carolina Panthers and 49ers game was $175. You know how much those tickets are at a 49er game? So like the 49ers and Rams, those same seats are like $675. I mean, and I know it's a different state and all this other stuff, but it goes to show you don't bring talent. Who's going to want to watch your fucking games? You're not going to never sell the stadium out. So then at that point, you're forced to make ticket prices cheaper just to hope people will come to the games, all because you give away draft capital and can't bring any talent to Charlotte. It's always like that. Even in basketball, it's the same way.
Yeah. I think
point.
The thing we're forgetting after all this is the fact that they had Teddy Bridgewater and traded him away. They actually had a good quarterback. He actually did really good that season. that whole season, he did great, and they just turned their backs on him. So,
Yep.
I don't know, where their heads are.
Up their ass.
Yeah, it proves they have no clue. What
Evan's on a roll tonight.
That's it.
Poor man Jerry Jones.
Exactly. But we're going to move on to the NBA crazy offseason once again. And man, it keeps getting crazier and crazier. Oof, my goodness gracious. And man, oh man, Indiana seemed to have Deandre Ayton signed on their team. And Phoenix needed just, in the words of Eric Bischoff, 3 minutes to get him signed again. Oh, yeah. Because Deandre Ayton has signed a 5-year contract with Phoenix worth $132.9 million. And Phoenix, honestly, guys, they did the right thing by snatching him up from Indiana because he would have been a great asset for the Pacers. And so I honestly, truly think if DeAndre would have went somewhere else, that would have been the downfall for Phoenix because Chris Paul and Devin Booker cannot do it on their own. And Ayton is the glue to that team. Because a lot of people, in my opinion, and let's see if you guys agree with this, I really, truly think that a lot of people that are NBA fans, they really take the big men for granted because some people think that, oh, the big guy doesn't matter. He's just a big guy in the paint. No, DeAndre Ayton is a great big man for his size. He can get down in the paint. He's got a pretty good, 10-foot jump shot. He can block shots in the paint. He's a true anchor in the paint. He can rebound. He can get offensive boards, all that great stuff for a center. And this is a great move by Phoenix to keep their big guy for 5 years. At least until January of next year, before the trading deadline next year. But for now, and I said it in the intro, and I'll say it again, the drama for Phoenix is over for now.
Yes.
So
you know what?
Go ahead.
I said, you know what, Steven, you're right. I was just about to bring that up because that's what that told me, that they are completely out of the Kevin Durant sweepstakes for right now because Ayton was one of the key pieces they could have had. And by them going ahead and signing him back, he's got that because of the Steven rule. He can't be traded away for 6 months. So he's got until January before he can be traded away, which I don't think he's going to be traded away.
Right, because that puts the kibosh on that one. Go ahead.
Yes, but my thing is this. What it does is, I'm not saying it's a bad move for Phoenix. Don't get me wrong. I think the money was kind of bad. I don't think centers need to get paid like that unless you're Nikola Jokic or Joel Embiid. And Ayton is solid. Don't get me wrong. He's better than Miles Turner. Right. But what that tells me, you just signed Booker to a max deal. You got Chris Paul locked up. If you don't win this championship next year, your core is smashed. Chris Paul's last year on his deal is next year. You ain't going to be able to re-sign him. You ain't got the money. Mikal Bridges is going to require semi-max deal because he should have been defensive player of the year in my eyes. So he's not going to be able to sign back. You're literally just going to be stuck with just Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. So Phoenix is going to be in a semi-rebuild because in a way it's a good move getting Ayton back and keeping them locked up. But in the other way, it's bad because they're going to have to get it going this year. Like the pressure's on. You don't win this year, the core's broke up. Chris Paul's gone, probably going to be retired. And Mikal Bridges is going to demand money from somewhere else. I'm looking for him to go somewhere in the East and be a defensive player of the year juggernaut. And Cam Payne probably won't return. Cam Johnson's going to demand decent role player money. So, I mean, Phoenix is going to be
same with Jay Crowder too.
Yeah, they're going to be in bad shape in next year if they don't get it together. And it just so happens they chose a year where they should have done it last year with the Bucks, like I've always said, because each year the West is revamping their whole conference. Golden State's back in it now. You got the Clippers might make some noise with Kawhi coming back. Then you got who knows about the damn idiots in the other LA team. Then you got the Nuggets about to get Murray back. I mean, then you got teams like that. Then Grizzlies got another year of experience. So I mean, Phoenix is they got there. It's an uphill battle for them with this signing, honestly.
It is. And they honestly did the right thing by at least securing him for the next 6 to 7 months, because there's no telling what's going to happen. Because honestly, when that season kicks off in October, I think that's going to be a huge, critical, start for Phoenix, because I think that's going to determine if Ayton stays the rest of the year, with Phoenix, because if they're doing great, he's probably going to end up staying. But if they're struggling, it wouldn't surprise me if he gets traded. It would not surprise me. Joey, your thoughts?
The Suns knew that going into free agency that they were going to say, you know what? I know we need to sign Deandre Ayton, but now Kevin Durant is possibly coming here. So which do you think would be the smarter move on our end? Maybe we should go after Kevin Durant and see if we can let DeAndre Ayton take a pay cut. But then they hear that the Pacers agreed to a contract with Ayton, and the Suns were like, nope, screw KD. We need our big man in the paint. So that was the smartest move that Phoenix could have made in the free agency as of right now, because I know that centers aren't usually seen as the scorers of an NBA team, but
right.
Whenever you got a big man who can block shots, who can hit a layup off a miss whenever a shot comes up like that, or a guy who can snag rebounds in the paint, a guy who could be a true defensive force, you don't need him to be a scorer. And that's what Phoenix had in DeAndre Ayton and still has in DeAndre Ayton, because Ayton is putting up numbers like we see out of Shaq and Andre Drummond and all these other big men who have been over the years. So Phoenix made the smart move in bringing back Ayton, and like Kevin said, this is an uphill battle for them because Chris Paul, like we mentioned over the months surrounding the NBA season, Chris Paul's not a leader. He's not a leader. He has never had the leadership quality to be considered the leader of the team. If anything, I would say Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton are like the co-leaders because they're fresh, they're young, they're talented, and that's what the NBA is consistent of now. These fresh, young talents who had less than stellar college careers but are coming to the NBA and just blowing it up. Ask John Morant, for example. Ask, oh, God, I can't think of his name right now, but there's been a bunch of amazing players. As a matter of fact, I just thought of them. Ask Damian Lillard. I mean, you got all these guys, all this fresh young talent who is just lighting it up in the NBA. And DeAndre Ayton is one of those big men that can pull down a board whenever he wants to and put up a putback layup at any given moment. Yeah, he doesn't have to be a 15, 20 points per game scorer, but as long as he can 10 to 15 rebounds a game and possibly average a few blocks a night, I mean, that's all Phoenix needs out of him. That's all they need.
Exactly. Randy?
Yeah, I think the biggest loss for Phoenix is going to be they're going to have to cut the Phoenix Gorilla, the mascot, because they're not going to have the money now. They don't have the money to sign him back because they used it all on Ayton and Ayton and Booker. So they're going to be having their mascot at halftime dunking on the hoops now. So that's the biggest loss for Phoenix. I don't think it'll matter much. Phoenix will do like they usually do, win a whole bunch and then lose when it matters most.
Oh yeah,
that's Chris Paul. That's Chris Paul's MO. So that's going to be usually how it goes. And Ayton is a good talent. He probably should. He was wanting to get out. Then he signed that. They added a bunch of zeros to that contract and a couple.
Oh yeah.
couple more numbers in the front there. Oh yeah, let's run this back. Yeah,
But
I would run it back too.
Yep.
you know what? Here's my only concern with Ayton, and we've seen it in the playoffs, and we're going to see it multiple times. Is he a good shot blocker? Yeah, he's great. But we've known that you don't have to be a shot blocker to win the championship.
Nope.
Golden State had no shot blocker, nobody over 6'9". It's just about playing man-to-man defense. That's where Ayton lacks. He can play in the paint, yeah, but the way the league's set up now and the way guards are playing now, they get you on that switch, on that pick and roll, and guess what? Ayton's out there at the three-point line guarding fucking Luka Doncic, who's tearing his ass up play after play after play after play. He is horrible on the switch. And, like, we're going to see – we've seen it from Steph Curry all year. That's why they ran through Phoenix on Christmas Day the same way. They got the switch, and he was eating Deandre Ayton up on the perimeter. So all these teams with these guards, they're looking at that film and saying, hey, look, Jason Kidd did this with Luka. They got that switch. They either post up Chris Paul because he's fucking small, or they went head up after DeAndre Ayton on the perimeter to shake him because he's not quick. I mean, it's not about post defense anymore in the NBA. It's about, can you switch everything and play solid defense? The Boston Celtics were the number one team in the NBA. You know why? Because their center, Robert Williams, can switch out on any guard and play defense. The Golden State Warriors, Kevon Looney, can switch out on any guard and play defense. DeAndre Ayton cannot. And we've seen that in Game 6 and Game 7 versus the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Doncic and Jason Kidd, they won the chess match. They said, you know what, ding, ding, we got it. Switch every time. We're going after Ayton. It got so bad that the coach of the year benched DeAndre Ayton because he said, look, they're exposing us. We can't defend them. We cannot defend Luka with Ayton. He's killing us down there. Get him out. Let's put McGee in there. He's got a better chance. That's what concerns me, because next year, again, they're going against teams in the West with elite guards. Damian Lillard, Steph Curry, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant. They're going to torch them again next year because of that exposed center playing defense on the perimeter. He can't do it, and I'm worried about it for him.
That is an excellent take, Kevin, because, you know, Curry in the NBA finals, or not the finals, but against like the Mavericks, against Memphis, you know, he was exposing the big men on both of those teams, because every time a center would try to guard him, you know, on the perimeter, Curry would just pull up off the dribble and shoot that three. Boom, switch, nothing but net. And the defender could not defend the shot, you know, mechanics, because Curry's got that quick release that you can't block it. You know, 9 times out of 10, he doesn't get a shot block, because that's that accuracy of the shot by Steph, you know, and that's what makes Curry so great, is the fact that he's got that quick trigger on the finger, you know, to pull the trigger, you know, to get that shot off before the big man gets the hands up and blocks the shot, or tries to attempt to block the shot. So, yeah, that's an excellent take by you on Ayton, because if DeAndre is going to be with this team for the next 4 to 5 years, that is the biggest Achilles heel for him, is he's not a great defender on the perimeter.
You know what? You got a point too, Stephen. Remember, and another key was, we were all talking about it too. That's the reason all of us here said that Jokic should not have won MVP over Embiid, because of that lack of playing defense. He couldn't stay in front of Steph Curry in round 1. When they got that switch, Steph was driving right by him. Joel Embiid can switch. That's what made all of us Cat fans and NBA fans say, hey, Embiid should have won that MVP. Like, Joker's getting killed on defense. He's getting exposed. He can't defend nobody. Yeah, that's what we changed our whole stand on that damn MVP.
Sure did,
because of it. So that's the same way with Ayton.
Yep, because Embiid, you know, this past season, he was putting up 31, 35, you know, 15, 20 boards a game. I'm like, good grief, like, he is balling his ass off, you know, and playing really great basketball
on the perimeter.
Yep, absolutely. And you know, and we go from that to the crazy scenario with the Los Angeles Lakers. I mean, my goodness, does this soap opera ever end, everybody? No, apparently not. Not surprised. I mean, there was reports that came out last week that Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis all had a call to talk to each other, to talk about where do they stand with their loyalty with the basketball team. You know, when clearly there's some there's it's a dysfunctional bunch in Los Angeles. Not surprised. And it wouldn't surprise me, since Russell Westbrook's agent has left him, that Russell Westbrook has shown the door. There's the doors. Don't let the door hit you on the ass, on the way out, and all that stuff, and you could say don't hit the door where the good Lord split you, all that stuff. But I think Westbrook is on his way out of Los Angeles. It's just a matter of time. But I want to go around the horn with you guys on this situation. Joey, what are your thoughts on this LA Lakers situation with Westbrook and, with LeBron and AD, talking and all these reports going around that maybe Westbrook might be traded? I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff going around, a lot of rumors and stuff. What are your thoughts?
No. It's a shame that Ezra couldn't be on here tonight with his sound effects, because as far as this whole Lakers thing is concerned, I just got one thing to say. That's what it freaking is. This whole thing is a flipping circus.
It is a circus.
I mean, you got all this talk about Russell Westbrook wants out, Kyrie Irving wants to be traded, LeBron ain't gonna sign a long-term extension, Anthony Davis and LeBron want a better teammate, yada yada yada, this, that, and other. I'm like, yo, shut up. I mean, it was bad enough with just the Lakers and the Nets getting involved in this, and now you're bringing in teams like, the San Antonio Spurs. You're bringing them into this. You're bringing, I think one time I remember seeing Cleveland get involved in this at one point.
Wow.
I'm like, yo, come on. This is not the place for a circus. This is a freaking worldwide sport. Well, I wouldn't say worldwide yet, but USA sports-wide phenomenon, and the Lakers and the Nets, who I don't know why NBA writers are calling these two the top two teams to beat in the NBA next season, but the Lakers and the Nets are taking this whole fiasco, turning this whole normal offseason and turning it into a complete circus-like fiasco. And the question is, or the question that's on my mind, our minds, everybody else's mind is, when is it finally going to end? Because honestly, given how talks continue to ramp up, this nonsense ain't never going to end, in my opinion. So why can't these Lakers and Nets players and fans and an organization alike just say, you know what? We got an NBA offseason to prepare for, and we ain't making no progress. So let's just dump the talks, stick with what we got, and just move on. Just saying.
Exactly. Kevin?
It's a fucking shit show. I've said it on multiple occasions. Kobe Bean Bryant is rolling over in his fucking grave at this fucking circus in his arena. In what's it called now? The
Crypto.com
arena. You know what? Kobe's glad they changed the name, because it's an embarrassment to the Staples Center. It's an embarrassment of that organization and that franchise that's won 17 banners. It's a fucking embarrassment, man. Yep. And you know what? Let's ignore the play by Russell Westbrook here. I can honestly speak as a man-to-man. I would be pissed if I'm Westbrook too. Like, damn it, you want Kyrie and you gonna question my loyalty. Motherfucker, you the one that damn wanted Kyrie over me. Get me the fuck out. I ain't loyal to this team. I can't even be mad at Westbrook. Like, bro, he was wanting to stick with them. He was wanting to give Darwin Ham a chance. He was wanting to try it again. And then all he kept hearing is, LeBron's calling Kyrie. Oh, Rob Pelinka wants Kyrie. Oh, Jenny Buss wants Kyrie. We want Kyrie. Kyrie wants here. Kyrie's here. Man, I would want the fuck out too, man. What? Oh, just to get Kyrie from going from winning 36 games to winning 39 games because he's a fucking part-time player?
Right.
Like, really? You already ain't got no other team. You ain't got no bench. You ain't got no center. Oh, you got Austin Reeves, though. And you think you could compete with the likely teams like the Golden State Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies, the Phoenix Suns, the Denver Nuggets, the Clippers? Get out of here. The LA Clippers are that team in LA, not the Lakers. I don't care if the circus ended today. I don't care if it ends at the All-Star break. I don't care if it ends in the end of the season. I don't care. LeBron is done. The Lakers are done. The only chance that LeBron has of getting in the playoffs if he fucking team hops next year and goes joins the fucking Memphis Grizzlies or the Golden State Warriors or the Clippers or somewhere Cleveland even, or Miami. I mean, he's not doing it no more in LA. It's done. I mean, Westbrook, it ain't even Westbrook at this point, man. It's this fucking Rob Pelinka has turned this whole fucking franchise into a shit show. Shaq and Magic can't even bear to look at this shit. Remember in 2017 how Magic just up and left his GM position for the Lakers? I don't blame him. Why the fuck would I want to stay around this circus? He's embarrassed for that franchise. And they are honestly worse off than the fucking Brooklyn Nets, because the Nets are just a selfish, just trade them away ordeal of just ending this. The Lakers are really trying to make this shit show work. They're really trying. It's sad.
And you know what? I just read something that blew my mind, that there's reports going around. I don't know if it's true. Before I get to your thoughts, Randy, on this, there was a report saying today that reportedly Kevin Durant does not want to get traded just to leave Brooklyn. He wants to get traded out of Brooklyn to get Kyrie out of Brooklyn.
I read that too. Someone said he might even be happy to stay once Kyrie moves.
Isn't that crazy? Not really in our eyes, because Kyrie Irving, since he won that championship with LeBron and Cleveland in 2016 and hit that big time shot against Stephen Curry, you know, that 3-pointer to go up 92-89 in the 2016 NBA Finals in Game 7 to clinch the championship for Cleveland. Ever since Kyrie has hit that money-making shot, he has been nothing but a disaster to any basketball team that he has been on. Because after they got beat by the Warriors in 2017 when KD jumped from the OKC Thunder to go to Golden State and win those 2 championships, after Kyrie's next finals loss with Cleveland and his official finals loss so far in his career so far, he leaves Cleveland and goes to Boston and absolutely wet the bed. Excuse me, even better, shitted the bed in Boston. And Boston wanted him out of that team because of the loyalty that they thought that they had with Kyrie. They thought that he was the guy that was going to lead that team to the promised land. He did not. Kyrie failed in Boston because he thought that, oh, I can go anywhere I want and I can do this and do that, all that good stuff, and lead any basketball team. That's not how it works. You got to have a team of men. You got to be a leader. You got to have a group of guys that can get together, play together, and be together as one, not one player out of 15. You know, obviously 1 out of 14 because the rest of the team, you know, all that stuff. But Kyrie, he leaves Boston, goes to Brooklyn, and he has been nothing but a disaster in Brooklyn. Last year, yeah, he had a pretty good year last year up until he got hurt. And I know Brooklyn fans were whining and complaining and saying, oh, Kyrie, if he didn't get hurt, they would have gone to the NBA Finals, could have, would have, should have, all that bullshit. You know, and then fast forward to this past season, the pandemic, as far as restrictions were still going on, and Kyrie did not get the COVID-19 vaccine, and it's his reason. I understand. I'm not going to harp on that. Whatever, it's your personal choice. I understand. But the rules at the time were the rules. And he chose his own pride, his own personal pride for not the benefit of the team, but for himself. And he missed so many games. And that is why Brooklyn was the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference bracket last year. And it wouldn't surprise me, guys, if Kevin Durant leaves Brooklyn for the simple fact he wants Kyrie out. Or maybe Durant will force Kyrie out the door to go to Los Angeles and join his new buddy again, LeBron, once again, and the King of Kings of Hollywood drama bullshit. The Lakers.
You know, you got a point there, Steven. And I said it one show that I think you was not on it, but Kyrie Irving is a cancer to his locker room.
Yes, he is.
It just goes to show you, and Kevin Durant has opened his eyes and he realized what good culture basketball looks like. When he went to Golden State, like that is the perfect culture. Them and the San Antonio Spurs with Duncan and Ginobili, those cultures, that winning culture, you're happy, you're just stress-free, everyone's for the team. And don't tell me about the COVID shot. Okay, that's his choice. But all I'm saying is Andrew Wiggins sacrificed his own body and his own beliefs to get vaccinated, and he is an NBA fucking champion this year. And Kyrie says, I don't want to play with you, Durant. I fuck the team. And KD's thinking, I left Steph Curry, I left the NBA champions this year to join this clown who plays 20 games a season, and then he's gone. Get me the fuck out of here or get him the fuck out of here. And Durant's opening his eyes. I cannot be mad at Kevin Durant's trade request whatsoever.
Not either. Because that's the reason.
I honestly wish I would have more respect for Durant if he had the balls to come out, stay flat out and say, get him the fuck out like Kobe did with Shaq. No, it's him or me. Get Kyrie the fuck out of here. I don't want to play with him.
Exactly.
He should have done like Kobe did with the Lakers with Shaq. Get him out. It's him or me. And I would have respected it even more. It's sad, man. It's sad to see Durant's skills getting wasted because he joined an idiot teammate who was nothing but for himself, never been for the team. And as a fellow Duke fan and a Duke who follows Duke, watching him go to Duke and play 2 games and literally sit out the rest of the season, I don't want to risk my knee because I got hurt. I don't want to risk it. I got an NBA career. That's fucking selfish. And I should have known right then in 2011, this guy was selfish.
Exactly. And you know what? I don't want to hear about the knee problems, that Kyrie, was talking about, because any player, I don't care if you're a star player or a really good role player, any player that has any amount of pain, they will find a way to push through the injury. It doesn't matter what sport it is. I mean, we can go up and down the league, NFL, NBA, MLB, NHL, etc. Look at all the great athletes that have came before us and that are still playing to this very day. These athletes bust their asses every single day for the benefits, not only for themselves, but for the team to get better every single day in practice. Even if you lose a game, it's okay. You can't win them all. You have to make sacrifices to make better for you and for your team. And if it would not surprise me if and when Kevin Durant is traded away to from the Brooklyn Nets to anywhere, or it wouldn't surprise me if Durant, wants Kyrie out of Brooklyn, then that way he can get some other players around him besides Kyrie. Because let's be honest, fellas, and after I said this, I'll go to you, Randy, for your thoughts on this Laker thing. And now that we got that Kevin Durant trade talks with getting Kyrie out the door on the table, I'll go to you on that. But let me say this real quick. So as far as, as far as like KD wanting out, it wouldn't surprise me because last year in the 2021 playoffs postseason with the Nets against the Bucks, it was clear as day, even when Kyrie was still there. KD was still doing all the work up until Kyrie got hurt. And then when Kyrie got injured in the second round against Milwaukee, KD had to put that team on his back, scored 48 points in that game 7 against Milwaukee in Brooklyn, and they still lost the game. Why? Because KD does not have the help that he needs in Brooklyn to get the job done. And I know Kevin Durant is regretting the decision to leave a team that has already won another championship in the Golden State Warriors, their 4th title in 6 years. 4th title in 6 years. Absolutely insane. Or excuse me, 4th and 8. Right? Yeah, 4 titles in 8 years. And Randy, so first, give me your thoughts on this whole Lakers situation, and then give me your thoughts on this Warriors situation. On this KD, wanting possibly getting Kyrie out of Brooklyn.
Well, I mean, I don't know where the Lakers have what they've sunk to. I mean, trading Westbrook for Kyrie is like trading Satan for Hitler. I mean, that's all I think about it. So I mean, worse or worse. I mean, they're not going to get any better. They're both horrible teammates. They're both. I don't know. It doesn't look good for LA in the next coming years. Like you said, LeBron's going to get out of there soon. He's probably done, and that'll be it. So I don't foresee anything big happening with this. And I think if Kyrie goes there, it's just they may win a few more games, but they're not going to be able to compete with a lot of those teams. And none of them can stay healthy. So that's how that goes. And as far as KD to trying to get traded just to get out of there, I don't blame him for that either. I don't blame him for one bit. I wouldn't want to stick around if Kyrie's still there. I think Durant's as good as gone though. But you know, they could choose not to even trade him. So, but if I'm Durant, I'm trying to get out of there because even if they get rid of Kyrie, you still got Ben Simmons to deal with. So,
shit.
Again, bad to worse. Bad to worse. He really hitched his wagon to the wrong team there. So that's my take. Unbelievable.
Yes, it is. It's very unbelievable. I mean, like it's crazy how, you know, like as we were talking on the show, I literally just went on to the internet and just came across the article. I was like, oh my goodness, like that is insane. Like if Durant wants out of Brooklyn just because he wants to get away from Kyrie, and it wouldn't surprise me if that happens because Kyrie has been a disaster since he has left Cleveland. Been a disaster. And we're going to move on also to the NBA that Donovan Mitchell, the star point guard of the Utah Jazz, is now on the trading block. And there is no telling how long this is going to happen because that's been the common theme in this offseason so far with these star players. And there's no telling how long the trading block is going to last for these guys. And there is no telling where Mitchell could go. He could go to Dallas. He could go to maybe, you know, to the Clippers. I mean, I'm just, you know, spitballing, you know, different teams, Chicago, and there's, you know, just, you know, different teams, Miami, you know, Milwaukee. There's no telling where he could go. I'll start with you, like Kevin. Where do you think Donovan Mitchell is going to land in the upcoming season?
I think he still stays the Utah Jazz because the fact of the matter is, and I'm not a front office person, so I can't speak for everybody. The main team that's associated with him has been the New York Knicks, though, which I could possibly see. But these teams are asking for way too fucking much for these guys. Like the Nets with Kevin Durant, they want like 4 or 5 first-round picks, 2 stars, another all-star, and then Durant himself wants to play with 2 all-stars. Who the fuck has that? And then, like, I know I wasn't on the show when the trade went down with Rudy Gobert to Minnesota. So, but my opinion on that is, like Randy said during the show, they gave up too fucking much for a center who can't shoot, someone who just plays post defense and catches lobs. They gave up way too fucking much. And now I know the Jazz, they seen that, so I know the Jazz are going to look at somebody else and say, hey, we'll give you Donovan Mitchell, but we want 3 first-round picks, a superstar, another budding star, and another 20-year-old prospect that's really fucking good. I'm like, nobody's going to fall for that because there's no team set up for that. Same way with the Nets. They've got all these teams knocking on the door asking for Kevin Durant. You know what they told, like the Phoenix Suns? They said, we want Devin Booker, Deandre Ayton, Mikal Bridges, and 4 first-round picks. Have you lost your fucking mind? Same way with the Raptors. We want Scotty Barnes, 4 first-round picks, and Pascal Siakam. No! So that I know the Jazz are asking the same thing for Donovan Mitchell. The only team I know is stupid enough to do that is Stephen A. Smith's precious and Spike Lee's precious New York Knicks. They were dumb enough to pay Jalen Brunson all that fucking money. So I know they'll be stupid enough to trade the rest of their team away just for Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Exactly. Joey, what do you think?
You know, it's amazing how one team's off season can go from bad to worse. And let me tell you guys one thing. If Donovan Mitchell winds up being traded from Utah to Lord knows where, that's going to be the beginning of the end for the Utah Jazz, because I understand that Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert may not have gotten along, but you can't deny the leadership that those two guys brought to that Utah Jazz team.
Right.
And behind them, Utah really has nobody who could step up in a big game moment. I mean, yeah, they had some good players back in the day, but nothing like a Donovan Mitchell Rudy Gobert clash or duo. And I'm telling you, like you said, Kevin, all these teams that are asking all these players and all these first round picks and this, that, the other, it's just like, excuse me. I understand Donovan Mitchell is a superstar, but he is not worth asking for 4 of your star, and not to mention 4 to 5 first round picks. No, he ain't. No NBA player is worth that much. Not even Michael Jordan was worth that much if he would be on the trading block in his prime days on the Chicago Bulls. He would not be worth that much. So if you ask me, these teams are just getting too freaking greedy. That's all there is to it. These teams are so obsessed with winning the title that they are willing to do whatever it takes. And I understand making a good move here and there, like say the Atlanta Hawks when they traded for DeJounte Murray, and by the Minnesota Timberwolves when they had Rudy Gobert. I mean, I understand making a big move is crucial, but at the same time, don't risk putting your entire future and your entire organization on the line to make something that could eventually cost you. Because we've seen it happen to so many franchises over the years.
Right.
It's crazy. And the fact that these teams are asking all these players just because they want to do whatever they can to win an NBA title, it's just like they're just making it sound so greedy. And I don't understand that. I don't.
You want to know a good example of it, Joey?
What's that?
And it goes back to me talking shit about him, but when that trade went down for Anthony Davis, I said the Lakers have lost their mind, giving all that shit. Now, where are the Lakers? They're in the fucking gutter. So they gave away 4 first-round picks, and you lose Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, all that crowd. And I'm like, are you stupid? Brandon Ingram's a 28-point per game scorer right now, and you're over there got Mr. Crutches over here in a fucking wheelchair. And you ain't got no draft picks. You can't draft someone to groom like the Warriors or the Spurs, who can draft well and groom them into superstars like we've seen of a DeJounte Murray, which is now gone, and a Jordan Poole and the guys like that who can be drafted and groomed into superstars. The Lakers can't do it. Now they're financially restricted and they stink.
Exactly.
So the Utah Jazz are trying to get the most out of a team, and whoever trades for Donovan Mitchell, yeah, they'll get Mitchell, but the rest of the team, they're going to be in the gutter. They're going to be in the gutter for the next 3 or 4 years. Mitchell ain't going to be on a winning team. Then, if they can't win, Mitchell's going to leave when he's an unrestricted free agent anyway in a couple of years. So I wouldn't trade if I was a team.
See, now, I'm not saying that all the teams are wasting their careers because these organizations out there that are freaking smart. And I'll give you one prime example, and that was the NBA champions from this year, Golden State. Because let me tell you why. When all this buzz about Kevin Durant proposing a trade, everybody was like, But what if he wants to go back to Golden State? Because, I mean, they're doing great, and maybe bringing Kevin Durant back will make him even greater. No, it won't. Especially not when you're wanting to ask for players like Jordan Poole, Jonathan Kuminga, James Wiseman, and I think there was one other name involved, but you got Jonathan Kuminga, who is not really the brightest player yet, but give him a couple years and he'll be one of the brightest players in the league. You got James Wiseman, who, yeah, I mean, he didn't really stay healthy this past year, but if you give him more than enough chances, he'll be a legit threat. And you got Jordan Poole, who is already starting to learn how to shoot the ball, especially when he has Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, who, might I remind you guys, are two of the best pure shooters in the NBA. And you got Jordan Poole running from behind him, and look at the progress that Jordan Poole has already made. The Nets can keep Kevin Durant if they're going to try to ask for Wiseman. Bull crap.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Randy, what do you think of Mitchell? Will Mitchell be traded or will he still be on the Jazz? What do you think?
Well, I think the Knicks on the draft night cleared all that space and had all those draft picks for a reason. I think they're going to try to get Mitchell. What's his name? Julius Randle. He's on the back end of his career already, it seems, but he's still a great player. And they're going to have to give up probably one or two of those young players that they had, like Toppin and Grimes, to get Mitchell. But New York's done it before, and they'll do it again. Trying to do something, trying to make a big splash in New York for New York in New York. So I don't know. I think that he'll stay though, because I think Utah he'll stick around there because Utah will pay him right, and he'll be loyal. I think.
I think he needs to stay because because if he leaves, Utah's going down to near the bottom of the league.
Yeah, Utah will be a shell if they if he gets traded. Mitchell, they could probably move on a little bit after Gobert, but as far as Mitchell goes, no way.
Because Gobert's already a huge piece to replace.
Yeah, they're going to be a lottery team for sure.
Yeah, he is going to be a huge hole to fill in the center spot in Utah. And Mitchell, again, it's a proven fact in any sport. You can't do it all by yourself. It's got to be a team of brothers, a brotherhood, coming together, and playing for one another and all that good stuff. And so we shall see what happens with this Donovan Mitchell situation. And we'll keep you updated on the news, as it keeps coming down, because, man, seems like every time we go off the air, every time there's always something happening, and it just gets crazier and crazier by the hour. And I want to change it up a little bit. So last night was the home run derby at Dodger Stadium. And man, the home run derby is one of my favorite things in any all-star breaks for any sports, because it's always fun when all these great hitters go out there and they just smash the ball, so far. And man, it was a great home run derby last night, highlighted by rookie of Seattle, Jose Ramirez, Ramirez, man, that kid, good Lord, have mercy. Ramirez was amazing. I mean, just hitting the ball in his first home run derby. In his first round, he hit 32 home runs on 40 pitches. Just absolutely crushed the ball. My goodness, Ramirez, man, he is. Honestly, I was rooting for him to win last night because he was just so good, so consistent. I mean, and how about Albert Pujols last night, crafty veteran, 42 years old, winning his first round matchup, and Pete Alonso, two-time winner in a row, looking for that three-peat. Did not happen. He got beat by Ramirez in his matchup, which was a complete upset, in my opinion. And just what a fantastic home run derby. And just incredible, incredible. I loved it. And I always look forward to it every year. Honestly, I think it's more fun than the All-Star game, because I mean the All-Star game's okay, but I don't really care for All-Star games in all the sports. It's not my thing. It is not my thing. And yeah, I mean, it was really fun last night. And I really enjoyed it last night. And I want to go around the horn and get your thoughts on this. Joey, what are your thoughts on last night's home run derby?
Well, I will say one thing. Even though Juan Soto walked away with the ultimate title, Julio, that kid from Seattle, Julio Rodriguez, my Lord, that dude had probably the best night of his young career. And not just the fact that he hit 32 home runs in just the first round. From the first round semifinals to the finals, that dude hit 81 flipping home runs. That is almost unheard of for a rookie competing in his first ever home run derby. So you better believe that like you said in the pre-show, Stephen, with the home run derby and the All-Star game coming to Seattle next year,
Rodriguez will be there.
You best believe Rodriguez is going to be there. And he's going to have that Mariner hometown faithful just chant his name, willing him onto a supposed home run derby title. And, I mean, Julio Rodriguez, he may not have walked away with the win last night, but he was the biggest star in my eyes.
Yeah, Julio Rodriguez last night was the star, in my opinion, even though he lost to Sato in the ultimate final round. I mean, Julio was just, I cannot believe how accurate he was on these pitches. I mean, every time Rodriguez was jumping on these balls, left from right, every time one pitch would just fly out, boom, crack the bat, boom, just hitting the ball with such accuracy, especially in that first round. And the fact that he beat Alonso to go to the final round. I mean, even though Julio lost the ultimate final championship to Sato, kudos to that kid. I mean, he is a star in this league, and I hope that next year when the home run derby is in Seattle, I hope that Rodriguez wins the derby, because especially for his fans. And also last night I thought it was cool that Corey Seager was there, the former Dodger. And going back to his former stadium and playing in front of his fans, and getting a good ovation, in the derby last night. And man, just could not believe, like, I was on Zoom with everybody last night and they were talking about the derby. I was like, oh shit, I forgot it was on last night. And everybody's like, did you hear about the kid Rodriguez and his home runs? I'm like, no. And they were like, yeah, he hit on his first round, he had 32 pitches, hit 32 runs off of 40 pitches. I'm like, oh my goodness. And I had to go back and put on the home run derby on MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM and listen to the derby, and just could not believe how Julio was just playing his ass off last night and beating the two-time back-to-back home run king at the time, Pete Alonso. And that hasn't been done, in quite some time. That hasn't been done. Nobody has won 3 home run derbies back to back to back. There have been people that have done it three times, but not in a row. And Alonso does not join that club of being the person to go back to back to back with 3 home run championships. And we'll see what happens next year with the home run derby. And we'll see if Rodriguez can win the derby next year. I hope he does, because I mean, my goodness, I mean, he is a star for years and years to come. Kevin, what are your thoughts on last night's derby and Rodriguez's performance last night?
Oh man, he done a hell of a job, man. That was a pretty fun home run derby to watch. I caught the end of it a little bit. I was in the middle of watching that documentary, and I caught the end of it, and I seen some updates on SportsCenter. I said, let me change the channel real quick and watch it. And that was pretty impressive. That's one of the most impressive at bats
absolutely.
I've seen in a long time. Honestly,
Yeah.
makes me reminisce on glory days back then when we had before the steroid issue came up. Watching Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire in the home run derby, just yanking balls left and right out. That's what it kind of reminded me of.
Oh yeah.
I cannot recall a player, hitting that many pitches out of the park in any opening round. I mean, when Julio Rodriguez did what he did last night, I mean, he absolutely just played a perfect round and ultimately took his first round matchup, because how many runs he hit, and ultimately I believe he won, what was it, like 32-20, something like that. But like,
you know what though? You know what? I believe I could do the same thing if they would bring the fence in till about shortstop. And give me the home run that way. I believe I can put up that many runs.
Wiffle ball. I used to do that in wiffle ball. I was a home run king in wiffle ball. Well, I was always second. I was always second. But anyways, my take real quick on that is that was amazing watching that dude hit all those home runs. I think a lot of the guys did well. And then I thought it was pretty cool that when Pujols was done, all those guys
Pujols was excellent last night.
All those guys came out to mob him for his last at bats, in the home run derby. So it was kind of cool to see them all come out and pay their respects to him. I said Albert Pujols is the man. He's probably one of the best pure hitters we've had in a long time. So
he's been doing it a long time.
Yes, sir. So
yes,
cool that they pay their respects, and baseball is always good for that. And that's one thing that'll keep you coming back to baseball.
You know what, Randy? I got one thing to add to you. I'm glad you brought that up about Albert Pujols, because I seen SportsCenter literally show up a mind-boggling stat last night talking about how long Pujols has actually been doing this. They were talking about when he hit his first career major league home run, Corey Seager was 2 years old.
Wow.
Like, some of those guys were 6 years old, 7-year-olds.
That's amazing.
And Pujols hit his first major league career home run. That's, do you realize how long he's been in the game doing that? That is insane. Those guys were babies in diapers when he was jacking homers, and now he's still doing it for one last year. That's crazy. Hey, major respect to one of the greats, man.
Without a doubt.
Oh, yeah. Definitely major respect. And if he can hit at least 15 more home runs this season before the season wraps up, he'll finish his career with 700 home runs. And you better believe he's going to want to get that before he retires.
Absolutely. I mean, some of the stats from last night, I mean, Rodriguez had, like you said, Joey, 81 home runs. Soto had 53. Pete Alonso had 43. Albert Pujols, the crafty veteran himself, had 35 home runs last night. Corey Seager had 21. I hope I'm saying this gentleman's right. Acuna, right?
Acuna.
Thank you. Acuna had 19. Schwarber had 19. Jose Ramirez had 17. But the ultimate winner, even though Rodriguez had 81, the ultimate winner last night, as we all know, was Sato with the ultimate championship win. And honestly, I think if Rodriguez would have hit, that last home run that he missed, just barely missed it by the skin of his teeth last night, if he would have hit that last home run, maybe Soto would have won the championship last night. And
absolutely.
It was just like every time these derbies happen, I always check them out 9 times out of 10. And I totally forgot at first last night to check it out, but I totally enjoyed listening to the derby from last night. And just when I heard that how Rodriguez did last night, I was like, I have to hear this, and just listening to the commentators talking about how, and just going, giving the play-by-play on how good Julio was doing. The only thing that was missing, guys, was honestly hearing Chris Brimmer going, here's Rodriguez, and back, gone.
He wouldn't have done. That guy was hitting him. He was hitting them back to back all the time.
I know.
Yeah, he was.
He was
hitting them back
the whole time. Back to back to back to back to back to back.
Hey, what if Mike Breen was calling home run derbies. He'd be going, Rodriguez, bang!
Now, I will say that it was quite a shame that Pete Alonso couldn't get the three-peat. So I guess for right now, Ken Griffey Jr. would be the only one in MLB history who's won back-to-back home run derbies.
Exactly.
So,
and shout outs to our boy Mongrovian Mike. Ay, karate. He's a Mets fan, and his boy Alonso represented very well last night, but he didn't get the W because that crazy ass rookie, Julio Rodriguez, absolutely had the best performance, in my opinion, in a very long time as far as stats in the home run derby. And looking forward to next year's derby in Seattle, and knowing that kid Julio Rodriguez is going to get the absolute standing ovation that he deserves. And it wouldn't surprise me, everybody, if Rodriguez is going to be the home run king maybe a couple of seasons down the road, because he's only just getting started. He's just getting started.
Now, I do want to bring this up real quick because I think this would be a pretty interesting topic to talk about just real quick.
Sure.
Even though Juan Soto is won the home run derby, he made even bigger news even before the home run derby even aired when he rejected a 15-year, $440 million contract offered to him by the Washington Nationals. And now the Nationals are saying, well, if we're not going to sign him to this long-term contract, we're going to look to trade him. So now the question is, where could he possibly land? Where could he possibly land now?
That is an interesting point, because usually a lot of players are going to take the money, that they're offered if they feel like they've done great. Because, and that's interesting. Like, possibly, I think he might get traded down the line. The question is to where.
I mean, that just lets you know that he doesn't want to be in Washington, because he doesn't. I mean, Juan Soto is one of those players that wants to win a World Series, and he's not going to get that as long as he's a member of the Nationals. So I don't blame the kid for turning down that contract, because I know that he's a superstar player who wants to win the World Series. But the question is going to be, where is he going to land in a possible trade?
Yeah,
that'll be interesting.
And I'll counteract that with this. So knowing how good Julio Rodriguez was last night for representing Seattle, honestly, guys, I really think down the line, because how great he was last night, I think that down the line, he might be one of the top most paid players, money-making players in the history of baseball. And a couple years down the line, not right now because he's a rookie, obviously, but when that rookie deal is slowly to be coming up, I think Rodriguez is going to get a hell of a contract offer from it could be from Seattle, or it could be from a top contending team, or a team that might, be in the contending spot for a World Series championship. And I really think that if I'm Julio, if I'm playing great in the next couple of years, if I'm Rodriguez, I am taking any offer that I can get to come to a contending team, because there are a lot of teams that could use him,
Absolutely. I wouldn't doubt it.
Kevin, where do you think Soto's going to end up if he gets traded?
Man, I think he's going to go to a larger market team who can afford that, but also at the same time,
it ain't going to be the Dodgers. I can tell you that.
The what?
It ain't going to be the Dodgers. Hell no.
No, hell no.
Or the Yankees.
Oh, hell no. Sorry, Neil. I know Neil's a Yankee. I know Neil's a Yankee fan, but he ain't going to the Yankees. No.
I just find it interesting. I think the Nationals at least owe it to them to kind of sit them down, kind of like how the Nets with Durant try to say, hey, point to what team you want, are you interested in, and we'll try to work out a trade there, because they're the ones who brought up the trade idea. The Nationals are one themselves said, okay, we're going to look to trade you. So that tells me right there, they're going to work with you. They're going to work with them, hopefully to find them the place of his own destination of choice. But it's going to be interesting. We'll definitely see how that plays out. But I assume that once he's traded, it's also going to take a while, because as soon as he's traded, I'm assuming he's going to sign an extension of some sort. And that's going to be another hurdle to jump, because then he'll have to, okay, I accept the trade, but now let's figure out the contract on a 8 to 10 year deal. like something like that.
Absolutely. It's going to be really interesting to see where he lands, next season. Because, I mean, that is unheard of from any player in any sport, to reject that kind of offer. Because usually, especially in baseball, I mean, good Lord, I mean, these players are getting paid, pretty good contracts, and a lot of money, and it's really interesting, and it's unheard of at this juncture in baseball, for guys like Soto to be turning down that kind of money, and man, it was a nice contract, and he said, nope, I don't want to be here. And so it'll be interesting to see where he ends up. And
it's just really strange for the organizations of Washington in general, because just in the NBA, they were able to persuade Bradley Beal a couple weeks ago to stay for a large contract.
Right.
Now they can't persuade Soto to stay for a large contract. He said, I want a championship. Bradley Beal said, fuck it, I want money. Washington's just on opposite ends of the spectrum for NBA and MLB.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Randy, where do you think Soto's going to end up?
Well, I mean, I think he needs his head checked for turning down that much money, but but I think he'll end up like Kevin was saying, in a bigger market. You never know. Shoot, he could end up in Boston for all we know. Boston, maybe, I don't know if Milwaukee's a big market anymore, but they might try to work out a deal for him. But the teams that are you guys put said it right. The Yankees and the Dodgers, no, they ain't going there. So it'll be interesting to see. That'll be coming up here probably. They're probably all talking it out this week, with all the owners being at the All-Star game and everything like that. We'll probably hear something by the time we go live next week where he's ended up. So it'll be interesting for sure.
Absolutely. And it's crazy, all of this, all this, this how this All-Star break has gone so far. It's been great as always. And the All-Star game, I believe, is tonight.
It's on right now.
Yes.
Right now. All right.
That's
So the
right
All-Star game is happening right now, and that should be fun. And the home run derby last night was a lot of fun. Once again, your winner last night for 2022 home run derby, Soto, was the winner, beating the young rookie sensation Julio Rodriguez in the ultimate and final round. And it lots of fun. Could not get enough of it. It was incredible action. And man. And or the second half of the year is fixing to get started. I mean, you still got Atlanta, and you got the Yankees, and the Mets are doing good, and I mean, the Astros are doing good. I mean, it's going to be really interesting when we get down to the home stretch for this 2022 baseball season to see who will be playing in the playoffs.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
If anything at all, check out the All-Star game. They have the American League has really cool jerseys on. If anything at all, just to check it out, just for their cool jerseys. They're pretty wild. Interesting.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah. And who do you guys think is going to win? Real quick, since we're talking about baseball, who do you guys think is going to win the All-Star game tonight?
ooh.
I would like to see the National League come out on top, because the American League, I think, is on a 8-game win streak right now. So
Correct.
I would love to see the National League come out on top, especially since they're being managed by the Atlanta Braves manager, Brian Snitker. So yeah, I would like to see National League come out on top tonight.
Well, of course you would, because you're a Braves fan.
That's right. Hey.
Of course you are. You would pick that. Yeah, it's been a wild week in sports, and man, I mean, cannot wait, guys. In a couple of weeks, we start our NFL 2022 regular season previews.
All right.
It's going to be a lot of fun in a couple of weeks. And once again, before we continue, you can follow us on Twitter at @ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and at our brand new URL here on YouTube, YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Also, follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner, everywhere else on the socials, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You know the drill. It is at the Nation's Corner. And catch the Nation's Corner live this Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific. And it'll be another wild week in professional wrestling. And SummerSlam's coming up next week in Nashville, Tennessee. Ric Flair's final match is happening next weekend in Nashville. And GCW has a show going on next week. And wrestling it's at a height right now. And it's really awesome. You know, what's been going on, you know, AEW, GCW, Impact, what they're doing, WWE, you know, SummerSlam's next weekend. So yeah, it's catch all the coverage on the Nation's Corner this Saturday with host Tony Justice. Ooh, yeah. The great and powerful Deb Hausena and R.A. Davis this Saturday on YouTube for the Nation's Corner, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific time. And you got real quick, guys, you got anything you want to talk about before we wrap up this show?
I think I'm good. Let's get
I just seen some breaking news in the NBA today that good defender JaMychal Green that was traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder this offseason is expected to be bought out by the Oklahoma City Thunder and will sign a contract with the Golden State Warriors.
Okay.
So that was a solid pickup.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's a solid pickup. Great defender. Then we're going to have the Green brothers. Draymond Green and JaMychal Green.
There's going to be some ruckus going on down there in Oakland. Woo, Lord.
Oh, Lord.
It's going to be crazy down there in Oakland, San Francisco when since he's going down there to hang out with Draymond. Maybe we'll get him on the podcast. Shit, who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But
the Draymond Green show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I also want to give a big shout out and I want to wish a happy birthday to the late great ESPN analyst Stuart Scott. He's one of the best to ever do it, fellas. He has been one of the best analysts on SportsCenter that I've ever came across in my life, and I will never forget to this day calling the Kobe Bryant 81-point game against the Toronto Raptors.
Wow, I totally forgot that he was on that call.
Priceless.
I totally forgot that he was on that call. Great call, yes. Kevin. I mean, he is one of the greatest sportscasters that ever lived. And his swagger on screen, his personality shine through a television screen every time he stepped foot to a microphone. And all his catchphrases.
What was his favorite line, Steven? You know it. Kobe Bryant, colder than the other side of the pillow.
Yep. Colder than the other side of the pillow.
That line.
Yeah.
Yep. He would say other things like "booyah," and
booyah.
All that. Man, and also he was also in a couple of the NBA games back in the mid 2000s. Like he was in 2K5, I believe.
Yep.
As far as doing the pregame stuff and the ESPN stuff, and also real quick, it just popped since we brought that up. Video games. I know Kevin. You and Joey have been talking about this in our chat. Madden their new game is coming out next month. And the ratings have came out. Kevin and Joey. Kevin, I'll go to you first because I know I was reading some of the messages in our chat and you were talking about these ratings. And I know you got a bone to pick with some of these damn ratings. So the floor is yours, my friend.
These damn wide receiver ratings have lost their damn mind.
I knew you were going to go to that.
Was putting up Randy Moss numbers, and you got him as the 15th or 16th best wide receiver. Have you under Amari Cooper, under AJ Brown? Give me a damn break. And then you don't put Deebo Samuel, who arguably is the best X factor running, catching the ball in the NFL, in the top 10. He's an 88. He deserves to at least be a 93, at least. And then Justin Jefferson, the guy, in my opinion, and I know we're going to talk about the previews for the NFL, Justin Jefferson, to me, is going to be the NFL's best wide receiver next year. Mark it down.
Really?
Put it. I'll tell you that now. And you know what? He's a 93. He literally has Kirk fucking Cousins throwing him the football, and he still put up 1,100 yards. And he's got Adam Thielen to share the touches with, and he still does that. This is ridiculous. Whoever made these ratings absolutely sucks. And honestly, the linebacker ratings, I could definitely agree with the only flip-flop, like I said in the chat. Demario Davis should not be number 2 with a 93. It should be Darius Leonard with a 93, right there with Fred Warner as a 94 as the best 2 linebackers in the NFL. We know this. The analysts know this. Sports fans know this. That's the 2 best linebackers in the NFL. Bobby Wagner's older. I mean, you got Roquan Smith from Ezra's Bears. He's a beast. But those rankings suck, except the linebackers. And I was looking at the safety ratings today. They suck too. Holy shit, they're horrible. I mean, the only thing they got right is they moved Jamal Adams finally down to the 13th best safety in the league, which he deserves because he sucks. He can't cover a damn fly. So at least they got that right. But I think 2K's ratings are a little bit more absurd, to be honest. Watching it, when you have Chet, the rookie Chet, who's as skinny as a damn toothpick, do you guys know that his strength rating is higher than that of a Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron James? Give me a fucking break. The guy can't barely lift 20 pounds. He's a skinny worm. And you telling me he can outmuscle Giannis Antetokounmpo? Have you lost your damn mind? You got Michael Jordan's 3-point rating, the GOAT, don't get me wrong, but he cannot shoot better than Steph Curry. You got him as a 99 rating on threes, and Steph Curry as a 96. Cut me a damn break. But with that being said, I think the rating system and the ranking system is absolute shit. I can tell these guys don't watch football like that or basketball. It's crazy to think that, but it is what it is. But I also want to speak about news that broke earlier today. I don't know if you guys paid attention. It wasn't too big, but AFC champion, the Cincinnati Bengals were unable to sign Jesse Bates to a long-term deal, and he did not sign his franchise tag. So he is expected to be traded, and he's a Pro Bowler. So now there's this dilemma going around the league, like who's going to get him? He's the second best rated safety in the NFL right now. Who is going to get the All-Pro Jesse Bates from the Cincinnati Bengals? That's big news because Cincinnati will take a huge loss with that. And one team, who knows, might take a huge gain with that. That's a pretty interesting story right there.
Very interesting, and that's a huge loss for Cincinnati's defense because Jesse Bates was a very good defensive player last year in that Super Bowl team that went up against the eventual champion Rams.
Yes, very good.
That is a huge loss for Cincinnati going down.
Cowboy fans be like, "We're going to get them." Yeah, sure you are.
Sure.
Just like you got Tyrann Mathieu, just like you got all these other bums that you said you were going to get. Good job, Dallas.
They're doing a good job at still losing, regardless.
Now that's a circus. Now this is a circus, like Al Michael said. Hey, just want to let you guys know, and everybody out there, all our followers, that I miss football so much that I went down to the local airport, or I went down to the international airport just so I could boo the Jets again. Getting ready for the season. That's how much I miss football.
Of course you did.
Boo, watching them take off. Boo, so I can boo the Jets.
Oh, I didn't think Ezra was on here this week. Oh, that was Kevin. Oh, okay.
You know you're desperate for football when you go to the damn runway and boo the damn Jets. What the hell's wrong with you?
Hey, look, someone said I would also rather watch a game between the Jets and the Jaguars with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth and Joe Buck calling the game and Troy Aikman.
Sir,
I would rather watch that game right now. That's how desperate I am to watch football.
If I'm not mistaken, fellas, if I'm not mistaken, last year, didn't the Jaguars play them last year?
Oh, no.
They played in London.
That's
I wanna
right.
say
Yeah,
London.
yeah. Because I was in Baltimore that weekend. I was eating lunch before me and Dad went home, and I'm like, why the hell are they showing this monkey crap of a game on this TV? Get that off my screen.
They should have left. They
Hey,
should have left them over there.
hey,
They should have left the
It's
teams
Jets
over there.
and the
Oh, sorry.
Jags.
Sorry, you're. There's no flights. No flights coming back. Sorry. You got to
Now,
stay.
here's a team who can score for over 40 because they got Zach Wilson.
Yep.
Hey, but you know one thing that's even worse than going to the runway and booing the Jets. I happened to we walked around in the zoo one time, and I happened to see a lion and a panther growling at each other in between the fence.
Oh Lord.
We could all go to the Bank of America Stadium and sit up there and be like that SpongeBob character. Go, oh, these guys stink. Before the season starts, put it across the scoreboard.
Even better. Kevin. Or we could go to the Panther Stadium when there's a football game going on, and all I can hear is the intro to that theme song going. I can hear the guy going, "I can't hear you," referring to the fans in the stadium.
And then I'm going to say it louder. You guys stink.
Hey, here's something even better. Christian McCaffrey takes his first carry from scrimmage. He gets tackled, and all of a sudden he says, "My leg!
My leg!" I mean, we've seen Anthony Davis say it multiple times this year. My leg. Matter of fact, 3 times in one game, by the way. My leg.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, one other sports note that I want to address this right real quick. But did anybody catch LeBron James picking on a bunch of damn bums in the Drew League?
No.
He played in the Drew League.
Yeah.
He had 42 points and 16 rebounds. He played with DeMar DeRozan against a bunch of damn people like you and me. And then he thinks he done something. I'm like, cut it out. You played the Drew League. You didn't even play the playoff.
How about in the fact that Kyrie was supposed to play in the Drew League, but he didn't even show up?
Of course he didn't show up.
Why does that not surprise me?
I mean, come on. It's only the one and only Uncle Drew himself. So he'd be like, I don't need to show up. I'm already Uncle Drew. I don't need to prove nothing to these pathetic losers.
Yep. And before we go off there,
You know
real
what?
quick,
The chance of Kyrie doing something for the team is about the same chance as Deshaun Watson staying away from a damn massage parlor. It's not going to happen.
and before we go off there, I want to bring up real quick right now at the end of the first inning, it is the National League up on the American League 2-0.
Hey,
Yep.
that's
2-0. 2-0 right now as we speak. Yup.
Let's see who got the. Let's see. Paul Goldschmidt hit a home run, and then Mookie Betts hit a single that scored Acuna. Okay. All right. Let's go.
Awesome.
All right. And with that being said, if you guys have anything else you want to talk about, say it now before we go off the air. Anything, Kevin?
Find Anthony Davis nearest hospital to play. That's all.
Joey?
Hey. You might as well sign Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley up for that nearest hospital too.
Oh God.
Yep.
Because you know they're gonna need it.
Yep. Randy, any last thoughts?
No, you
Talk about?
you guys covered all the wusses. Good job, guys. All the accident prone guys, you guys did a good job there. But great show, and we'll see y'all next week.
Yes.
Great show.
Final thoughts, Joey?
Another great show with you guys. Hopefully we can have a full crew next week. Peace out, guys. Yeah, has a peace out, guys. And just so you know, we're getting close to the NFL, and I'm ready for our preview show.
Yep.
Let's go.
Yep. And when that pre-show starts, we're going to be going up and down each league, across each division, across about 6 or 8 episodes, something like that. We'll figure out what we're going to do. Last year we did the NFC first, I believe. Then we did the AFC first, and then or whatever. What the hell? Well, either way, NFC, AFC doesn't matter. We're going to cover every division like we did last year, and that'll be leading up to our predictions to the Super Bowl. As far as like, who we think our season matchup is for the Super Bowl and all that stuff. But that's going to be a lot of fun in a couple weeks, and hope Ezra had a great time with his mother and sister today, taking them out, having a good time, enjoying quality family time. And that was really cool of him to do that. And you deserve it, brother. Hard working, all that good stuff, and to take your family out to have a good time. Hell yeah. Or as Stone Cold would say, oh, hell yeah. Randy, any final thoughts?
You're trying to text Baker Mayfield right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna. That's it.
What'd you say? Hey, you suck.
I'll take my cat over Baker
Hey.
Mayfield.
I think Shao Kahn wrote him back and he said, "It's official. You suck."
Yeah, that's right.
And then when his playing starts sucking again, he'll be going, "That was pathetic." Kevin, any final thoughts, my friend?
Man, all I got to say is last little quick joke real quick. Well, after the first 6 weeks of the Panthers playing, they might want to sign Baker Mayfield up for some life insurance because he might get killed. But with that being said, got a lot of personal stuff going on, so I might be in and out on the shows here weekly. Might miss a couple, might be back there. It just goes week to week, but I'm going to try to definitely make it, especially for the NFL, AFC, NFC previews. But just want to say I love this show, love coming on with you guys, and love talking sports, love cracking jokes about a bunch of bums in sports, and just love.
And we can't forget about this great Chuck Norris jokes.
So we love it, man, and just hope everybody had a good night tonight watching us, and hope everybody has a good rest of the week then.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And once again, everybody, you can follow us on Twitter at @ON_sports show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show. And also, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube, YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. And you can find our content there, like and share and subscribe, all that fun stuff. Follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter @Nation's Corner, and everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. It is @The Nation's Corner. And you can catch Nation's Corner this Saturday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, with host Tony Justice, ooh yeah, the great and powerful Deb Halzenda, and R.A. Davis. This Saturday, talking about the wild week in professional wrestling, talking about WWE, AEW, Impact, whatever the hell they decide to talk about. And we're looking forward to having Ezra back next week, and great show with you guys. So with that being said, for Kevin Rory, Randy Giron, JT, not Justin Timberlake, but Joseph Thornton, I am Stephen Wyand, and we will see you next Tuesday for another edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. Peace.
Space.